Watchmen, brothers and sisters. Future news. The Watchman, Suleiman Rahim, Messenger of the Covenant. Let me see what I got here, bro. Let's just look at let's get this microphone situated right. I'm not gonna leave it like this, I think. Yeah. Brothers and sisters. New world is going out. The old world's going out. New world's coming in. Means the new old world is breaking down. So things ain't quite working anymore. Why would you expect them to work? Why would you expect things on the second floor to work? I mean, the first floor if you move to the second, right? Can I do this like this? Let's see. Microphone seems to come loose here. And, okay. Something missing here. Okay, maybe I can do it this way. Let me see. Okay. We're going to talk about a few things, brothers and sisters, today. I'm endeavor to keep it short. I always say that, but it never works out that way, does it? Talking about Adam. Talking about thought process. How you view things, how you understand things, how you connect the dots. Like that broadcast today, which is August 11th. Countdown. Of course, my guess is what is going to go full throttle in a couple of days. Because my estimation is going to be in August anyway. That broadcast get today. See, it's my job to raise the consciousness of our people. And that's a hard job. It's like, I gave an example like a person that's been comatose, right? 10 years in the bed, just laying there, can't move anything, just ain't conscious. And I'm the conscious in the brain. I'm conscious, right? But the body won't move, right? Just lay there, can't move. He's aware of the situation, just can't do anything. The body just won't move. He's got to get that body moving. And the longer it sits there, the more it deteriorates. So the harder job. So his job becomes harder every day. It's not getting better, it's getting harder every day. Because the longer the body lays there, it deteriorates more and more and more. And his job is to get that body moving before it just totally, right? It's destroyed. And that's what Husuma's job is like. It's very close. Gotta get that body alive. And all the enemies around say, man, just put him to sleep, man. Don't worry about that no more. They just pull the cord. See, and they don't know that he's awake in there. You don't know the body's conscious because the eyes closed and everything else. It's just their brain is aware of what's going on. He can't communicate. And they're not aware of it, right? The body's conscious. They say, well, just get rid of it, man. Why waste time to get rid of it? And especially if it does come. Remember, because this is a guy that, he's a prosecutor. If he wakes up, man, he's going to put us all in jail. You know? He's going to put us all in jail, man, because he's got the goods. So why save him? Just let him go. You get the idea. So, in that light, I'm just trying to sign up with where I should go with this, brothers and sisters. Oh, okay, I'll just go this way. Now, I'm just thinking, I'm also I'm just thinking, what's the best way to approach this? Because I'm going to Anna here. I'm thinking of your thought processing. Okay, I, okay, the forecast. I'm gonna deal with that first. Get that out of the way. Now, when you communicate, I mean, see, this is a hard one that I really can't bring a graphic on it that I can think of, brothers and sisters. So something you have to, I don't know. Okay, say for instance, I gave you that thing about says, you move in the direction that you're thinking and how fast, and your speed, the direction you're going and speed. I mean, think about it. You're going to run the brick wall. But that's what happens. So if everything is, I'm trying to get a good example here, brothers and sisters. I got an example. I'm not sure it's a good one. But let me just go with that. Okay, you run an organization, right? Well, no, let's do it this way. You got a child, right? The child is a good behavior child. You have to tell the child to be good, do you? You have to tell the child to be good because he's good. Why do you have to tell him to be good? But the child's good. He's obedient and everything, right? The child's not lying, so why do you have to tell the child you should be lying? You don't have to go in that direction because that ain't happening. You don't have to address that. It's not But if he is, you got to tell him, man, you shouldn't be lying, right? You see what I'm saying? Or you got to listen to your parents. The conversation is going to be based on your experience of what's happening around you. And that's what people talk about. They experience things happening around them. Right? And so what you see in that broadcast, if you look at what he's saying, he's telling people, well, if you dissatisfied, that means they got dissatisfaction over there. Right? Dissatisfaction means that God's trying you. It also could mean he's whooping your ass. You understand what I'm saying? But they got to put a good flavor on it. Put a salt and pepper on it, right? So it could mean that. And you gotta be faithful to God. So why you gotta say be faithful to God? I mean, some people are not faithful. Must be some people are not faithful. See, you gotta understand language. I mean, not actually, the grammar. I'm saying just communication work. Because you'll be telling people, hey man, you gotta stick with Farrakhan. You gotta tell them that if they're already sticking with them. You got people, if they satisfied, why you got to talk about dissatisfaction? Could I tell you everything? See, I read the backstory, and he told me everything I need to know, but him telling me. Because that's always what concentration was, man. We're in trouble over here. We're losing our people. People are dissatisfied, right? And then they don't have faith in. They're losing faith in Farrakhan. That's exactly what he said. That's exactly what he said. They're losing faith in Farrakhan. And people are dissatisfied over here. They're not doing good. They're not doing well. You understand, brothers and sisters? That's exactly what he said. You got to learn to read, understand. See? Because people, it's almost like tuned in, right? Because when they open their mouth, they reveal, to me, when someone opens their mouth, they reveal all kinds of things. They don't realize it. People shouldn't talk around me. Shouldn't open their mouth around me. Because they be surprised I'm listening to the real deal. That's some bullshit they trying to cover up. See, they trying to, put some shit out there and put some salt and pepper and hot sauce on it. And I ain't paying attention to hot salt and pepper. I'm paying attention to the stink that's coming out of here. See? I don't hear about no pot, all other stuff. And so when you listen to what he said, and I told you, and that's what Scripture says. It says, when Suleiman showed up, right? It says, Legion says, why are you tormenting me? And he said, why? Because you've been exposing me. It says he consumed him. That means he's in the process of being consumed. What does that mean? See? Breaking down, falling apart. That's part of it. When you consume something, take out existence, but you chew it and everything else, right? You do some things before it actually turns to dog shit or whatever you turned into. You understand what I'm saying? So I know exactly what they're saying over there. They're in trouble. And it says they would be in trouble. And it says the people would not be faithful to Farrakhan because when Moses showed up, he said, those with the Lord, so they wasn't even with Farrakhan. They were just there. That means he had lost control. By that time, he lost control. They were just holding on. So I want you to understand this. So I'm not going to waste time critiquing that because I just told you what happened there. That's why I told them that. And then they borrowed a lot of stuff I said, tried to give credit to that. Oh, because they said, well, you can't pension. Well, if you don't, because the reason why you don't understand what Farrakhan said because his thoughts so far above yours. It may be illogical because what he's saying is stupid. And he's saying it's stupid, it's wrong, it's lies. So you gotta give it virtue. That was good with giving virtues. Everything you do it bad is a virtue. See, if you're stealing and robbing, that's a virtue. Because in other words, stealing this cake in this country, that was a virtue. Because that means they was tough. There was manly men. There was conquerors, conquistadors. And see, what it says, it's right in, I'm not going into that detail about this, but it's right in the idea of the revolution. I'm going to touch on it a little bit later. You understand the revolution is really their true religion. Because revolution is what gives them justification of enslaving us. Justification of taking everything because survival of the fittest. Or the fittest is the one that should get everything. If you're a conquistador, you kicking ass, taking names, that means you deserve it. That's what evolution's all about. Mm-hmm. You understand, brothers and sisters? So they give virtues to everything. So now they give virtue to the fact that Farrakhan don't know what the hell he's talking about. Stuff don't make no damn sense. Right? They say the reason why it don't make sense because his thoughts so high, you can't figure it out. Right? In other words, man, you can't figure it out, man, because you ain't used to eating caviar. Yeah, but it's really shit. It ain't caviar, it's shit. But he said, oh, it's caviar. That's why you taste caviar before. You know what caviar is like. Man, that's really caviar that he's giving. Yeah, but smell like shit. That's what, see? That's what I told you. You don't never eat caviar because that's what caviar tastes. It smells. Let's move on, brothers and sisters. Okay. And I might have to do this 2 parts because I know there's no way I can do this in an hour. I don't think so. It's so much. See, I was planning to kind of like take responsibility, and I really shouldn't even thought about doing that. Responsibility to deliver this in other hands while I focus on my primary mission within this mission is taking out a demon and getting prepared, Nation of Islam prepared for tribulation, which is days away. But I can't do that because I don't think that they're doing what they need to do to have it happen. And the battlefield is raging right now, and it's time to drop them bombs because those bombs are useless after you destroyed everything. So I'm dropping them bombs since, and I got more. I'm saying things that, I'm saying things that you'll see, especially this Adam situation. So I'm on the battlefield. I'm going to be on the battlefield. So I'm going to try to work both out at the same time. I'm tell you, I ain't complaining, but I told you I'm burnt out. But I'm on, you know, momentum is. I'm on momentum. If you don't understand what momentum is, look it up. Okay, say you're pushing the car. You're pushing it. That's force, right? And then, it's called on slippery surface, right? Slippery on the ground, right? So you're pushing it. And then you stop pushing it, but the car keeps rolling. So there's no force on it anymore. That's momentum. It's just, well, there's no force applied to it anymore. So it's just because you've been doing it. It's like that's kind of crazy, right? I saw a crazy movie like this a long time or something right ago. That was years ago, I guess. And this guy, like, he was doing the same thing every day, kept doing the same all his life, right? And then he died. His body just kept doing it. That's crazy comedy, I guess. Just kept doing it because of momentum. He was dead, but his body just kept going. Anyway, move on, brothers and sisters. Okay, it's Adam's story. See, what I'm getting at here, brothers and sisters, and that's what they would see. They talk about it all week, and they hit on it. So, and I want to make sure it's clear because they try to distort it around. They try to say, well, he thinks higher above you and everything else, and you don't understand story. And they talk about Moses trying to search. And I've talked about this week too. I mean, I referenced it. I didn't actually get into it, right? But they was trying to say that, hey, see, the thing is, people say, man, that brother, so he's saying stuff that makes sense, and Shah Khan don't make sense, man. I don't understand. Yeah, because his thoughts are higher than yours. That's why you don't understand it. That's why you got to stick with him, because his thoughts are above yours. Like, he's the God. He ain't broke any seals on what I know about. This story about Adam is a very complicated story, brothers and sisters. And I try to impose upon the people because, and I've had a few events recently that called this to mind, and so I focus on it because our people are they like to talk a lot without knowing anything, and that's why they clean the fire comes. It's always philosophy. And that's dangerous. See, that's why Ishmael said they try to use it, make it a virtue in their Farrakhan's favor. They said, man, he should be saying that. Because his thoughts are way above yours. And that's why another reason why I'm talking about this, to make sure you don't, well, I don't know, not that you particularly, but to make sure that people, once they get rid of Farrakhan, they don't fall back in the same trap again. Okay. So it's about Adam's a good story. It's good. We can talk about the most traveled knowledge, but this isn't the same category, so I'm not going to go on to all of that, right? And Lord said, I'm going to place a rule in the earth. So you got to ask the question, well, who's ruling the earth before? What earth are they talking about? We're not talking about earth as an agenda. We're talking about just Europe, right? Right? I mean, you could almost say that, but he's talking about the whole earth. I want to place a rule in the earth. And they said, well, I'm making shed blood. So angels are, what are you doing here? And we said, but we submission to you, man. We don't do that stuff. Right? We stole our holiness and praise. We don't indulge in wickedness and stuff, right? We down with you 100%. And sure, I know what you know. I said, well, hold on, you don't know what I know. That's why shut them down right away. And he told Adam all the names of them, the angel, and he said, tell me names those right. Well, and so you can read the whole story. And it was about Iblis and all that kind of stuff. I told the angel to submit. It's a powerful story here. And as soon as they have it told, because they told you the story, they said, well, Iblis wasn't an angel. And we can knock that down. We can knock that out. Straight 3 and just like that, bam. Because, I mean, I don't go into detail. I could get a lot of detail about that. But you look at the story and say, well, who's this guy? Is it Satan talking? Because it sounds like he's... But again, because the angel says, no, man, they made clear. I'm not talking to Satan here. I'm talking to God. Because we stole the house, so that means it ain't Satan talking, that's God talking. But he said, I'm going to put a rule on the earth that's making a wicked person. I'm rule to the earth. And the angel, I want you to submit to what the hell's going on here. Don't make any damn sense. The Sunnis don't, I mean, they got to distort that totally to try to make sense of it. So he says all mankind. So all mankind was making, the verse says all mankind, they tell you we're all born Muslim. Yeah. You listen to Sunnis and stuff, well, that's brain cancer. It's certified brain cancer, right? And plus, look, they come over here. I know it's all the time I be out and about. I never see any of them associate anything with black folks. I don't care if the black folks sit out there and they could be calling Prophet Muhammad 5 times a day. They be out in prayer rugs out in the middle of the street on the highway doing their prayer stuff. They don't associate with them. But you see them with those white Christians all the time. They go out eating with them, they invite them in the house and everything else. So F them. See, because, let me stop. I'm getting so angry these days, brothers and sisters, because I know what time it is. Because they don't know. They said the wrath of the Lamb and the God is coming. Ooh, man, these people have no idea. I said, you don't know me. You have no idea what's about to happen to him. See? Because that's the judge. The judge is here. And he ain't pulling no punch. He said, you're going to be judged for every act of what you do. All the crap about mercy and all that kind of stuff. They don't understand what that means. There's no such thing as mercy in the sense they're telling you. You're not, we can forgive you your sins, which only means, right, we don't chastise you right now because we always tell you to repent. That means you have to go in and pay $1,000 back that you stole. We give you time to do it. Otherwise, we just take you out right there. It's mercy. Just give you time to make amendments. See? Because you got this Christianity, man, ooh, they got you going and coming. All these religions, man, all these religions are philosophies, every one of them. Every one of them is wrong. This is the only one's true, as Elijah Muhammad told you. Islam is mathematics and mathematics Islam. And then plus you know mathematics, so how can you know Islam? Because a lot of people don't know any mathematics. And they stay away from those classes. Anyway, let's get back to here, okay? So you read the story and you say, wait a minute. Now I have the whole story printed out here, right? I'm going to see how much do I have any more of it here. No. Okay, but you can read the story. And so that's why I tell people, don't be go out here, make commentaries, because you don't understand what you're talking about. Like I'm not knocking anybody, but brother, he was putting down he's putting down motionalism. But motionalism is a good thing. It's mathematics. It's good. If it's discipline, it's in perspective. But I had a tendency in my earlier life, right? Emotionism, man. And and I wasn't all that pleasant with females. I put females down. I was just dumb as everybody else, very emotional. Because I had a demon white boy. Ooh. I mean, going there. That was just emotional wreck. No discipline on that emotion. And so that's what I'm saying. So it sounded like what I'm saying was right. But when you look at it, because he didn't have full comprehensive knowledge, like Ishmael was trying to say today, he had full, because that's what I've been saying all week. So where do you get that from? I keep telling you, I talk about something on the weekend, then they address it on the weekend. That means they're up on what I'm saying, and they're probably the ones that got me shut me down on YouTube. Because it wasn't YouTube, it wasn't the algorithm, it wasn't YouTube, because I have several channels, and they got the same stuff on it, and they ain't touched them. See? So it's Farrakhan is, boy, hey man, stop tormenting me. Hey, can you shut that boy down? That's what put down there. But YouTube's gonna be shut down in a few more days. So shut me down. Shut me down now. This gospel preached in all the world, then the end will come. It won't come for us. And it was near, it's near. I already showed you that. Maybe I'll get to it again today. But get back to everybody. Okay. So you have to understand the background here, the mathematics, because God's mathematical. So he's talking mathematics here. And I'm not going into the details, but what he was telling the angels to do seemed like, because he said, we don't know anything but you taught us, so we don't understand what you're doing. We're going to obey you anyway. So you going to have us submit to somebody's makeshift wicked people? Because I'm not going to energy deprivation, all that kind of stuff, because that's go and check my presentation, explains all that. But at the time energy deprivation, right? At time energy deprivation, see, I'm okay. I'm gonna spend more time with these brothers, sisters, and brothers than I do all the time, because this has to take time. You just can't over, because so much information there. I talk about how the universe opens and closes. I'm not going to mathematics of that, basically. But if the universe is expanding and there's only X amount of energy in the universe, that means it's going to be less and less here as more and more out there. That means you have less and less energy. That means we have less and less energy. If we get weaker, weaker, or weaker, much less energy you have, less weaker you become. So same thing. Say you're on a job, and all of a sudden, man, the economy gets bad, and you end up paying less and less and less. So you had to win a Lamborghini, man. But now you can't afford that Lamborghini, man. You got to keep it in the garage, and you don't have too much, and you got just enough money to pay the insurance and to keep it. You can't drive, you can't have money for gas, all that kind of stuff. But you just got it. But you want to get around. Right? So you say, okay, let me see if I can buy me a Volkswagen Beetle, which use little gas and cheap gas, because you can't put cheap gas in there, and cheap tires and everything else, right? And it don't cost that much to maintain and everything, right? So, okay, now I got me a Volkswagen Beetle. So say you're a car maker, so now you speak out, ain't nobody's buying Lamborghinis anymore. Let's make a cheap car. Incidentally, you know where the Volkswagen Beetle came from? They won't tell you that, right? Hitler. That's where it came out of Germany. He wanted to make an economic car because there was economic trouble. So if you buy a Volkswagen Beetle, Hitler is... right? I'll take my word for it, look it up, unless they whitewashed it. But that's where it came out of Germany. Right? So you got the Volkswagen Beetle. Now you move around everything else, right? But it's not as good. It doesn't have a structure. Everything is a Lamborghini. Because it says the devils have our form, but not our substance. They have a form of godliness, denying the substance of it. So they have a form of us. Like you see a mannequin in a store, but there's no life in it. But it looks like a human. So they look like us, but the virtue and wisdom and everything that was built into us, they don't have it. The stripped down version. Right? But don't cost much to operate it. So now they're the ones running around, they control town, everything else, they get around, right? But they're not just, right? They're wicked, but they can run the town. See? Because you wasn't able to run the town because you had no money, right? And all your little money you had, you was trying to maintain that Lamborghini. So you had no money to, your people in town had money to have police force and all this kind of stuff, right? So they couldn't run the town. But now the guy at Volkswagen, he can do it because he got extra money. So he can drive around, he can monitor, he can, do all the things that you wouldn't able to do. So he can keep the town going, right? But it's not as you would have done it, because you had done it in a more dignified, just way. But you can't do it anymore. So these guys do it. If you understand knowledge, and like I said, you don't take me to every inch and weight of it. I'm just giving you a general idea. So that's the story behind Adam. So we weren't able to do it anymore because the energy was so low that we had to put somebody that had enough energy, but look, they didn't have enough substance, so they'd be wicked and weak, but they could maintain a civilization. It'd be a bad one, but it's better than no civilization at all. It's bad. You got bad cops and bad everything in the town, but it's better than the town just fall apart and just right? And turn to a jungle. Right? So that's just one phase of it. But see, Adam had to be, remember, he says, I will make a rule on earth. That means Adam didn't do it himself. It means, but the God said, but that's why I did it, because it makes sense now. Because, hey, listen, man, how you going to make somebody make wicked shit? It makes sense. Cause this is, this ain't, this ain't the best thing, but it's better than nothing. So just listen to this guy. He can maintain civilization for you. Otherwise, you'd be out there in the jungle eating cannibals, eating each other and everything else. Because you can't, it'd be wild, wild kingdom. This is better than that. Dirty water's better than no water. We understand the concepts. Okay, yeah, okay. Remember, it's a temporary rule, but it's the best for now. So let's look at some of the things. But now, remember, he don't have no discipline, and he needs discipline to maintain that power. Because remember, he got more energy than you have, but just have more energy is not good enough. Because you can have more money, but if you don't have no discipline with it, the money is going to be wasted. So he's got to have this. That's why it says he had to keep center guidance. So Adam have power. Because to run the kingdom, he'd have to have power. But remember, he's going to be a ruler. That means he's going to be over all the people on the planet. His people will be above all, and everybody on the land have to submit to him. Them, their people, the Europeans. Everybody got to submit to the Europeans. They're going to be the rulers. Did you get that? What does that sound like? What does that sound like? Their people, their race, can be above all other races, and all other races submit to them as rulers. God said it. Is that racism? Because remember, they're going to be in charge, and you got to submit to them. Their race. Everybody's their race. Let's take it a little further. Take it a little further, brothers and sisters. See, because your way of thinking, if you think, oh, you don't have an idea what's going on, because your thinking is not in sync with reality. This is reality thinking. This is God said, this is the best thing to do right now. And it doesn't make sense because you're sitting like, oh man, I'm holy. You're on your bullshit donkey. Like I said, what the Quran says, donkey carrying books, ass carrying books. Because you don't know if you're talking about. I tell people, lead a commentary to me. Because what the Quran says, he said, no one can understand the Quran unless you firmly rooted in knowledge. Students ain't firmly rooted in knowledge. They can't even produce what the devils produce. How do they firmly rooted in knowledge? That means they don't understand the Quran, do they? Okay. Now look at this. This is Adam and Eve story. Now the Adam they talked about in the Quran is Adam that came out of the Dark Ages 500 years ago. That's the one, Adam and Eve, Gog and Magog. Not the original Adam from 6,000 years ago. This is his descendant. They're talking about, if you read Angel and your Genesis and you do a time frame, this one's only 500 years old. 500 years old. Just Adam. So he had this tree, but look at what it says down at the bottom. It says, you shall not eat from it or touch it or you will die. It said, the day you do it, you will die. Remember, the day is 500 years, and I'm not going into detail, but just throwing it out to you. The day is 500 years, and night is 500 years together. That's 1,000 years, so it's 6 days in there. And so he tells them, if you do this the same day, he's only 500 years old, he's going to die. And he's about to die now. He said, remember, people are talking about eat. He said, you can't even touch it. Now, why they say don't touch it? Okay, I'm going to drop some on you, bro. So I tell you, I'm blaming it on you. So you understand. Okay, you got that Volkswagen Beetle. Now, the whole purpose of getting it, because it's low maintenance and everything. So you got extra money, all things. Remember, now you got to have discipline to turn that engine into power. But you got more engine than anybody else. You got more money to use. Because everybody's getting paid $1,000 a day. But you only have to spend $100 a day. take care of your expenses. They got to spend $1,000 a day, some 800 different. But so you got $900 to work with. And if you invest in everything else, man, you control everybody else. Cause you understand? Okay. So the whole purpose of that, because it's right. It's nature. It's design, everything, right? So what if you start taking that and you start trying to make it look like a Lamborghini? You start taking the engine out, put a more powerful engine in, make the wheels and everything else. Then you start using you lose the purpose of what that thing was meant for. Because now it requires more energy to maintain it. So eventually you're in the same, you might have a Lamborghini, but you don't build that thing so much, you know. You know, people go out and they put the wheels, they got the car rocks and all that kind of stuff, right? You know, stuff they put special expensive wheels and all that crap in, big old speakers and all that, make all that noise. So now you put all that money in there. Now it's as expensive as a Lamborghini, and it takes them. So you defeat the purpose. So now you in the same category as a Lamborghini guy. You ain't got anything either. You got an expensive Vito with all this stuff on it. So why would you do that stupid? Right? Because now, I mean, you got power because you got a cheaper car, but it does everything Lamborghini does. It has the form, it has 4 wheels and all that stuff. It just don't cost. It doesn't take much to maintain it. So apply it to Adam. Adam was told, don't be mixed with other races. There it is. Racism again. That's not racism. Reject anybody that ain't white. Even their own children, their own demon children reject her. Reject anybody that's not white because that's where your power is. You start mixing, you start losing your power. Right? I mean, you're losing the power because of discipline, but you're also losing the point of you being who you are. That's like racism to you, don't it? Who's behind it? God is. God told him, if you want to be state ruler, you got to be what's the word? You got to be I can't say a villain. I'm trying to think. I can't pronounce that word properly, brothers and sisters. But you got to be vehement. I'm not going to go with that word, vehement. Racist. You see? Because you got to think that you're superior to everybody else. And you can't be messing with anybody that ain't like you. Mix no race or anything else. You got to be separate from them. And they're all down below you. Is that racism, brothers? Where'd it come from? It didn't come from them. That's the base of their rule. Now let's take another step, economically. Now we talked about it as far as structurally, mentally, so economically. Capitalism. So by taking that idea, that means since they're above everybody's reduced to animals. That gets to evolution now. That's exactly what evolution says. If you're not evolving, you are an animal. But they don't tell you it that way, but that's exactly what it means. Because an ape imposes, according to them, ape evolved into black people, and then black people evolved to white people. But the apes still apes because they stop evolving. The apes will always be apes. It's not going to be something that's going to evolve in the apes. No, that's it. And so they evolved to us. But we're not going to evolve anymore because the ones that evolved from us is the white people. The ones that was capable of evolving. And we stuck. So we animals. That's what evolution said, but they can't come and tell you that. I'm just telling you. Because these Negro must go ahead, they want to sleep and mate and hang around with devils like that. You know how devils think of you? You're just a pet. They ain't going to tell you that, but you're just like a pet dog. They treat dogs just like they treat people. You're just a pet to them. They don't see you as equal. They love you and everything, but they have sex with their animals. You're just a better choice in their mind. You don't accept that, but you're going to find out in a minute. I'm trying to get you to understand, right? who they're about, and why they came about, and who set this up. Because you never thought of it like this. You probably never thought of it at all. All this comes from God. Because that's the idea and the way they had to maintain rule. Because God says he wanted to maintain rule. And this which you follow my guidance. And if you're looking at in sealed Bible, this is the guidance they have. Because we was doomed to be slaves forever. And they were superior. They was chosen people. God chose them. You know, the Jews have a thing called golem. That means anybody who's not Jews, they're animals. See, you never saw any of this. And when you understand, you know, they have to maintain that mentality, that ideology, to stay in power. Because they start mixing everything. They start losing. The sinners are weaker than they are. Because they start, that's why if you want to go out there and rape these women, that's why they treat their own children. Right? That's animals to say, hey, they slay their own children. You had to be 100% white. They didn't get that from themselves. They got from scripture. That was their guidance from God himself. It was the correct guidance. Oh boy, I just hit, oh man. I'm sure cruise was coming to the door. It was the correct guidance because it was guidance for the time. That pales for us. Because by being under the pressure of them, intense pressure, we see how people experience that pressure right now. God was telling somebody, says, you know, we see how people, if you understand vector, I tell people they don't study vectors. You understand vector, you understand how people are reacting to the pressure. What you see is not our people. What you see is their reaction to the pressure they're exposed to. Like I give an analogy, like a person walking down the street at nighttime. This young guy. And you know, and he's walking down the street and he's all bent over and walking real slow, like he's crippled or something. I said, man, look at that young guy over there, man. He walking slow and bent over and everything, man. He gets his ass over to the gym or something, man. Look at that. Stop smoking that crack. He wouldn't be like that, man. And you're like 20-some years old walking like, right? But what they don't see, because it's dark, he got 200-pound weight on his back. See? So they make a judgment out of ignorance. And so when you see how people, you don't see how people. You see how people with 10,000 pound pressure that the devil's putting on them. They're making wickedness, shed blood, they're bad base ideologies, they're crazy Christianity, all this stuff. And now people carrying that. And so therefore you see the resultant, because they have vectors, you have the resultant. You have two forces, and the resultant is the force that results from that. And so you see the resultant, and you make criticism about the resultant, but you don't see the main force that people are, and you don't recognize the force they're exposed to. So what you see the resultant are those two forces combining together. And that's not our people. And so what's the solution? Remove the damn pound off their back. And then they come back to it. Take this pound off that young guy's back. Also, he's jumped up, he's running, he's taking care of business. But if you want to come out, hey man, see, you got look at that Farrakhan. Yeah, it's sin for you right there. Because he's the pound on his back. Because Farrakhan is pound on the man's back. Because he's a demon, he's a devil's follows the devil. And if the man drops the pound, he drops Farrakhan, that Farrakhan to carry his own weight. Because he ain't carried a goddamn thing in 42 years. The Nation of Islam is carrying him. He's the weight on their back, mentally and physically and socially. He driving people crazy over that bullshit. Then that's why they're dissatisfied. They ain't got anything. He's the weight, but he's rich and everything else. He know if they leave, he has nothing. The devils know if we leave, they have nothing. I'm gonna get to that one day. Tell you. See, remember, it works two ways. It's our nature as a vector, and their nature as a vector, and we just see us as resultant. But you see them, they're resultant too. See, you didn't catch that one, did you? They're resultant too. Because they've been affected by righteous nature. I thought this a long time ago, and maybe some might remember. Right? So therefore, right? Because Brothers, these things all connect. I talk about the sacrifice, right? I talk about your sacrifice about us going to harbor cars. But I also mentioned that years ago about sacrifice also. Is that we sacrifice to keep them from tearing the whole damn planet apart. Because we civilized them because our positive nature, civilized nature, calmed them down. It's like, they tell you, hey man, don't beat your wife up, man, just go punch her back. So you get all that negative energy, you punch her back, so you come back, hey money, hi honey, how you doing, honey? Instead of punching in the face. How you doing? Because put our energy on beating that bag. And we punch it back, they're beating on for 5 years. That's why they ain't been beating on each other. They got democracy, we get along and everything, because they have us to beat on. Because when they was in Europe, they wasn't like that. They were beating each other, fighting each other all the damn time. Now you got it. So there's 2 ways. They poison us, right? But we lift them up. See, if you lift something up, the thing you lift up is pulling you down. That's why they live it. So there's 2 sides to it. So they pushing us down, and we lifting them up. So we calm them down. They got us to beat on. They had us to beat on for 5 years, raping us, killing us, everything else. That kept them from destroying the whole goddamn planet. Enough of that, brothers and sisters. You understand what's happening here? So we made the sacrifice. I talked about this a long time ago. Maybe some remember. We the sacrifice to keep them from just ruining the whole damn planet. So they beat up on us. So we took it. But the other side of that is, by taking all that, right? It says submit, don't fight them back. Submit. With that pressure. Because see, I'm gonna have this. Listen, I'm getting to a lot of stuff here, brothers and sisters. I'm bringing a lot of stuff together. Remember I said, you have pressure. Everybody has the same amount of pressure, right? But you got quality pressure. And that can be very intense. So we all got the same pressure, right? But I got quality control of your pressure. Because we are here devils, so devils make the laws and everything else, right? They can make a law where you can't eat anything for a week. I mean, that's the laws. When we was in the field, they made laws that were worse than that, right? We can handle rights, anything. See? So who's under intense pressure, or quality pressure? The quality pressure is very powerful pressure. It can be very powerful because you have to eat. And if they stop eating, that means you're gonna, unless you're just gonna lie down and die, you're gonna start doing things. You're gonna put pressure up. You're gonna take from other people. You're gonna do whatever you can to eat, to get something to drink. It's quality pressure. And by taking everything from us, they put us under intense quality pressure beyond anything we've experienced. Because to everything. So we had total what's the word I use? Unprecedented quality pressure. Intense pressure. So what did that do to us? And we totally accept it. Don't fight back. Intense pressure. But what does it take to transform a coal to a diamond? Intense pressure. So by doing that, we suffered immensely under quality pressure. They have regular pressure, but quality. Most of it is quality pressure. Controlling all your energy. Feeding us pig shit and with shitless and all that. You couldn't, a lot of men, black men during the Holocaust, they never touched a woman because master had to you had to get permission to master, and he used that as an incentive a lot of times. Oh boy, you want to see see, that's what I did. I don't like sometimes like talk about Francisco. It gets inflamed. A lot of times you just talk about it, and he stopped because he saw people jump out the timber, gonna kill somebody. Because I talk about some of the things they did was like, it's off the page, right? So they would do things like something like this and say, because that thing when I was growing up, I don't know what they call it, place a train with a whole lot of guys taking and do a girl. And I never did that. But I know guys that did, and I got caught in one time because And I say, hey, miss, go out to this guy named Robbie. Go out in the basement, Robbie, and they hanging out, man. Just happen to go. So we come from school. So I say, oh, I was with some couple guys. So I said, I'll stop down here. And they down there, man, and down in the basement, and they got this young girl down there, and they got about 10 guys, man. They all waiting in line. I said, ooh, I got the hell out of there. I was, yeah, he never been that dear, and that. Yeah, just, right? And she was going along with it. And they ended up going to jail because what's that? This is gorgeous. She went home, and she had a girl in a book bag or whatever. So mom says, why you got the girl in the book bag? And she couldn't explain it. So mom whooped her ass. She finally told what happened, and she called the cops. And they got all of them out. I think something with the Jamesburg, whatever. Right? No. Right? But good thing I got out of there. Right away. I ain't stay here a second, because otherwise I would have got touched by that. But see, the thing is, that they would tell you, that's where it comes from, slavery. Because they would tell you, hey man, if you want to sleep with Sarah, and they have to go to pleasure girls, and they have one, and they say, if you do double, or still one bill, you do 2 bells this week, 2 bells every day, you can sleep her for 15 minutes on the weekend. And so that's the only way you ever, and you bust your ass trying to, because you got a natural age, 15, 16, 18, 19, and you can't touch. You see the women all the time out there working with you, and sometimes they're out there naked. You can't touch them. And you see master jumping down, or what do they call it, the taskmaster? He jumping on a horse and doing them, and you can't, and you don't have any idea what that's all about with your mind. So and then you do that in 15 minutes, man. And sometimes you go the whole life, you never get a chance to see a female. That's intense quality pressure. That was the stuff they did to us. But that intense quality pressure caused us to be transformed into diamonds. That's the process of being made from angels to gods. And they didn't know that's what they was doing, but that's the result of it. Right? Because it took discipline to do that. See, here you go again. See how things come together? So discipline to suffer 500 years of Holocaust and not rebel. See, because, oh, look at them cowards, they just go through with it. No. It took extreme discipline, especially for us. It took extreme discipline. So that means, because that's what the gods are. The gods are more disciplined than anybody on the planet. That's why they're going to survive the tribulation. But they have to be turned back on. They have to learn how to manage it. That's what 5 pillars are all about. See, all this stuff is coming together, brothers and sisters. Hope it's coming together for you. You understand? That's what's going on here. See? So we put intense quality pressure. See? So you look at both, oh yeah, well, that gave Adam the rule, and that kept civilization going, right? And we suffered intensely, plus we sacrificed to save all other nations from being trampled under. I mean, they did damage, but they would do, but they have to beat up one, so that minimized the damage to other nations. See how all this stuff comes together. Now, you got to talk and run your mouth. You don't know what the hell you're talking about because you don't see all this stuff. So you're saying something and you don't see, because everything I just said right now, nobody's listening to this, had any idea of any of this stuff. And they said it was crazy. Okay, well, if things crazy, bye. Explain yourself. That's why it says, do not touch the tree. It says to eat of it, that's the part where they're going to take us out. But don't touch it. Don't mix with it. Don't touch it. That's what it's talking about. Don't mix with them people. Because they're in that situation, that's us with the tree. Their situation, because there's some energy deprivation. Because you need a lot of energy to maintain themselves. And you don't. That's why you're the ruler. But if you mix them, you got to mix with them, then all of a sudden you're going to lose that ability too. So you can stay, make sure you rape everything else, right? But even their own children, they don't have to do it to their own children, their demons. No, we got to be right. because that's a source of power. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. I think I said enough on that. I think I'm going to probably close out here, brothers and sisters. Let me see. So I said a lot of stuff here. Because you need to understand what's going on here before you start out there talking. Now, I had a situation a while back. I'm not saying this right. And it's remarkable because I've had this situation quite a few times where people come and they, oh man, they get a little bit of information. They say a little bit of knowledge is right. And I actually had a situation like this, right? A while back. This is years ago, I guess, right? And this person was telling me, man, we got to get rid of all those emotional people and all that kind of stuff, right? He was all in that case. And I was trying to explain to him, right? And he didn't like me explain to him. And guess what? He got all emotional left. But he was talking about emotions so bad. Okay. And brothers and sisters, let me see what I got here. Hold on, brothers and sisters, a minute. I'm going to close in a minute, but give me a break for a minute, brothers and sisters. And do this. So I think I said a lot about that, brothers and sisters. No, I got some more to say about that. I forgot. See, I want to get a whole comprehensive idea about this and how the devil interface with us. Remember, this is a temporary situation. There's only allowed for them only. They said the day you touch it, wherever you die, and that's 5-year period. This 5-year period is nearly over now, right? But the thing is that once they had the attitude, remember, because there was rules, they control everything. So that means the whole earth belonged to them. Are you really understand this? So at that time, they was made from the dust earth. They had nothing. There was the dust. They had nothing. Okay. So you got how comprehensive. Now we say where racism came from. Now they don't call it racism, but that's what we call it nowadays. That's exactly what it is. I described it as that. Would you call it racism? See? So the concept is right in Angel. It's just the name that they gave it. Now you connect the two. But by them being a ruler, right? Remember, they came out of Europe with nothing. And then they came to this philosophy, right? All this about evolution, all that kind of stuff. That's a justification of what's going on because they survived the fittest, they're the best, they evolved them. So that gave them the base of saying, well, we animals because we're not evolved anymore. And they believed that. This can't tell you because they actually said it. When you're in the field, that's what they actually said was animals. They didn't treat us like animals, they treat us as animals. Because we was animals to them, it says in their constitution and everything else. All men created equal, but that wasn't including us because we was in the field, so that means we weren't even considered men. They didn't treat us like animals, treated us as animals because we were animals to them, and the rest of the world too. Because everywhere they went, they dealt everybody on the level as the animals. They wiped out the natives of this country, just wiped them out. With no pity, nothing. It's like you would wipe out bugs and dogs and cats. I mean, that's what they wouldn't touch dogs, right? They love dogs. They eradicate us like there was no, and they actually call them animals. They call us animals. So therefore, the whole earth belonged to them, and we was just animals, just like the rest of the animals. So they became instantly rich, because they got this country. It didn't belong to them. And this country, when they first got it, was pristine. I mean, it was, the weather, everything was beautiful. They said that you didn't have to go fishing. They said there was so much fish in the lakes, you can go in there, or you just stand there, and fish be jumping about the lake, and they just grab one of them. That's that's a fact. It's not just talking hyperbole. That's how. Right? The place they've just destroyed a lot of it, but. Destroy all of them. They just took it because they said we're animals. That was the idea. So now all of a sudden they the rules in the earth. That was the intention. You're gonna be rules in the earth, and God knew they would make mission shed blood. Even the angels knew that. But everybody was told to submit to him because there was a side benefit to it. And remember that pressure. So they became instantly rich. From dust to instantly riches, because the whole earth belongs to them. Everyone just took what they wanted. They took us. Right now, the Europeans, see, they talk all this economics and stuff. How come they had to try stuff in Europe by itself? Why they had to go out, take people's land and everything else? Because that shit don't work. only works if, right? Like I said, if you don't want a job, right, and you got a lot of money, well, you got to be stealing somebody. You got to rob banks or something. Because if it worked, then why they got to take somebody's land? Why they got to take all the stuff from Africa and all these other places? Because it don't work. It's a whole system designed on making mission shed blood, steal, kill, and destroy. That's it. They went out killing and stealing, destroy everything they got. They got killing and stealing and destroying because they have it on their own. But they sell to you, oh man, capitalism enriched the world, no, enslaved the world. They spread their demons all over the place, they seal all over the place. That caused dissatisfaction because now you got these black face or brown face or yellow face devils. And now they in there and they cause confusion in the country because they got a different nature and the people have a different nature. And then who comes around to this rescue? The devils, America. Hey man, you're oppressing your people. And they want democracy. Yeah, they want the same shit you got because they're the same nature you got. And then you go in, that gives you a reason to go and destabilize countries. You understand what's going on here, brothers and sisters? They got demons all over the world. The demons are going to be the first to go. We ain't just demons here. We play by demons the worst here. Because you have confusion in all these countries. They went out there, raped and spread their seed all over the place. Especially in the Middle East. People in the Middle East at the time, Prophet Muhammad was still black. That's why I want to show you a picture of Prophet Muhammad. You tell me nobody knows what Prophet Muhammad looked like. He was a premier man. You mean you had no artists, no writers, anything. Just even wrote a description. They can take pictures, a painting. Forget about the painting. Just say, draw a description out. Because how much you know the man was black? Because they're all white. Then they got smell. How come we got all white? And the Prophet was black. Now you can explain it to me. Tell me how that nobody, and these people, remember, he raised them, they educated and everything else. They conquered all of Arabia. And nobody says, okay, let me write a description of what Prophet Muhammad looks like. Forget about the artist. Just a description. And you're going to get me to believe that? See, all this is bullshit. So, racism, they had to be given racism because you have to stay perfectly Caucasian in order to be the form that you need to rule. You have to stay at Volkswagen Beetle because it don't take much to maintain it. But if you start mixing up, Then all of a sudden you lose that. That's racism 100%. Like I said, capitalism. But that's slavery by definition. Maximum profit minimum overhead. It was a horse is a slave, ain't it? You don't pay anything. It does whatever you tell it to do. That's the way it was. We treated as animals, not like animals. We weren't paid, but they gave it just enough to, just like give a horse, give enough to eat, and give a stable, and that's it. That's all they gave you. We didn't let you have your own women. This they call. Let me look at this real quick, since I keep forgetting this name, because you look it up. Okay. I got so much stuff in my head, bro. I can't have. And they said, "Well, you got Alzheimer's." Okay. No. See, this is a concept that came out of Britain. Okay, here we go. Oh, they get a French version. I want the English version. Here it is. Prima nocta. Prima nocta, which meant right at first night. Now, if y'all watched that movie Braveheart, that was all about. Because to get married, he had to remember, she had to be a virgin, and she had to sleep with the noble first. He had to write the first night before she sleep with her husband. That was all that story, the movie was all about. And they was the slaves in Europe because they had a search system. But when it came to this racism idea and everything else, once then they became the nobles, all the Caucasians, and we became the slaves. And so they practiced that same thing over here because they had a whole movie about that called Journey of August King. Right? And honestly, if you can find that movie, it's all about that, about the slave girl. Right? This guy, this slave master, right? He slept with her mother. So that was his child. She was a slave. It was a child. Right? And so when she got about 15, 14, 30, whatever, right? Then he wanted to sleep with her. And she escaped. See? Because he was supposed to be the first. And she was a virgin. And he went crazy. He went crazy. And there was this one slave that she was friendly with. She knew, right? They taught her whatever. And so when he went, the slave master went look at that guy. Say, have you seen her? I don't see her. Yes, you did. You touch her? Oh, master, I ain't doing it. Oh, yes, you did. And he took the man upside down, his legs, right? Tied his legs right there. Had him upside down. He took a knife and cut him right through the middle. Way down. That's what he did. That's in the movie called Journey of August King. I believe that's the movie. I think so. Pretty sure it is. Anyway, you understand, brothers and sisters? So they have to capitalism means right. Minimum profit. That means maximum profit. Means you have to give you no more is basic. That's the more profit they make. That's what happened. So they just gave you a stall. You couldn't sleep with if you slept with a black woman that was, remember in Django, he had to kill another one. He just sleep with her to get a beer and sleep with her for 5 or 10 minutes. And they enforced that. Now they did have slave breeders, And the purpose they was, I mean, I guess the Mexican American ones, right? That's all they did was sleep with women to produce more slaves. Because when they stopped importing slaves over, then they had got slave breeders, and they had guys. So they said, "Why we got to go over there and get them from Africa, right? We can just produce them right here." And so they had a guy that was stronger, and all that's all he did, right? Impregnate. They said black women impregnate, so they have, But you couldn't get one unless you was like, you might go your whole life and never. All the stuff about you and you in 5 places and all that kind of stuff, rock chairs, that did not happen. I can guarantee you that didn't happen. I can prove it didn't happen. Because I did talk to my old relatives that went through that. And I remember when I was in North Carolina, I was talking to my great granduncle. He's going now. And he was in Roxborough, North Carolina. Right? He was living in this white house, this little small white house, man, like 2 or 3 bedrooms, right? He had kids, everything. And I was talking, they used to ask me, say, wow, he's the only one that asked us what's going on. I mean, I was about, what, 12 years old there? And every time we used to go down south, right, I would ask questions. He said, you're the only one that asked questions about what's going on. What happened? They was, I was sad. That's me, right? He told me, he says, well, that house you see where I'm living, that was Master's house. I said, where you live at? So he took this little shed that was about 10 yards outside the house, right? It was a little shed. And it was, I don't know how big it is. It was about 5 feet high, maybe 6 feet high, right? And I would think it would be like smaller than a normal bathroom. I would say it'd be about like, not that much, about 4 feet, about 5 feet, I guess, right? And about 6 feet tall. That's about big as it was. And he told me that, and didn't remember his dirt floor and everything. He said, well, that night, they would take him and all his family and they put him in there and lock him in there at night. Make sure they run away. No toilet, nothing, just all that was. They sleep on top of each other. They had to go to bathroom. They just on top of each other. That's what it really was like. See, they tried to make it soft. Oh man, but they had 5 places and they had food and all that bullshit. And he said they fed them just like animals in a trial. In fact, that's one thing about Oprah, right? She put this thing in slave papers. It's out there. You find it, right? And what they did is they went back and found black folks that was in the turn of the century, last century, before they died, that still had been in slavery, and they told their experience. And they would tell you. They fed them the same way they fed pigs. There were no knives, no forks. They put a trout there. They put a slop in there just like they fed pig. And you eat. And that's it. See, you know where cow chips come from? The chips come from the idea of cow chips. Have you ever seen a cow chip? You know what I'm talking about? See? And that's what, that was one of the food. That was one of the, that was like one of them McDonald's burgers, cow chips, they feed you with cow chips. And that's why black folks so much in hot sauce and kind of stuff, try to cut the taste. Or the season, everything, if they could get hold to it. Anyway, brothers and sisters, I think I'm going to close out here. See? So why am I saying all this stuff? Because I want you to understand what's really going on. And when it says, doing them as they've done to you, see, this happened, I'm bringing you right into focus right now. Because what's happening, because you're going to do to them because you've been holding back the consequence. And that's no story. That's too deep for me to talk to you about this because it's the mathematics of it. How can you possibly hold that consequence? See? And that's why they're trying to, what they're doing because they know if you come to get your mind, that's why in Mark, they're taking your mind from you. They're taking everything from us. And they don't want you to get your mind back. Because you get your mind back, then you're going to look for retribution. And so doing them as done you, so it means everything they did to you, it's going to be done to them. But it's going to come like a whirlwind. As a whirlwind. Because 500 years, it's going to come back in them in 1 year. And that mind, I'm going to go with one more thing, brothers and sisters. And then I'm going to close out. Okay, I'm going to talk about this tomorrow. Okay, I'm going to talk about this. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, I'm going to talk about sequence events because I said this future news balances, right? And the fourth seal is very powerful. All are powerful. See? And it says, mystical God control. It says the Lamb is controlling it. Who's the Lamb? It says, when you open the first seal, this happened. Open the second seal, this happened. I mean, he's in control. You understand? Do you pay attention to these things? It didn't happen until he opened the seal. So he's in control. And then he builds the kingdom right there. Then he gives it to Master Muhammad. Says it. Ancient days get. That's what scriptures say. So you tell me something different, Farrakhan. Well, you're going to tell me something different way, because you. Tomorrow, no, let me go there. Okay. See, this is pretty much where we are right now. See, when you see where America and Britain is right there, okay, that's considered the Middle East mid-heaven, between heaven and earth. But they part of the earth, but they broke into heaven. It says they would break into heaven. It says days of Elijah, right? Evil men is broken into heaven by force. That means they raided the Middle East. They try to control the Middle East. That's where we are right now, right? And so the Iranians, everything, they should be in that position there, but they put the Shia under, because that's where the witnesses are. And it's not Elijah Farrakhan, right? They superseded their power. So the power in the Middle East right now is America, Britain, those Israel. That makes sense for years, and that's what you see right now, right? Magog and Antichrist. Okay. So it said, and they opened up the seal of four, heard voice of four living saying, "Be you coming?" And I saw, look, horse white. You see the horse white up there, and top of setting, and death and Hades was following him. It was given authority upon the fourth of earth. The fourth of the earth. That means the earth has four parts to it. So it has America, Britain, and Russia, and Europe. So it says, so it's talking about one of them. One of them. Right? So the fourth of the earth to kill long sword and famine and death and by wild beast earth. Now, this kind of complicates, so I'm not going to give it all the, all the juices she get right. Got to talk about some unity, I say a little bit. But see, you got the white horse, the red horse, reddish yellow, right? Black, and that represents loosely the black nation, right? But some of it are demons. Anyway, so the greenish yellow, that's all called vegetation, right? Keep that in mind. So it says, something going to happen to the fourth one, something going to happen to it. It's one of these that's fourth. It says that's what happened. It says, was given the power of the fourth earth. That means they're going to be killed with a long sword, have famine, death, and by the wild beast earth. And the wild beast earth represents Russia and Europe, Europeans, so-called EU. Okay. Okay, let me change one thing real quick about this. Hold on. Just give me a second here. Oh. Give me a second here. I mean, I don't really need to do this, but it only take a second. It'd be more informative if I do this. Okay. So I need a assistant. Okay. Hope I don't miss me by doing this. I'm gonna have to do this 2D parts, but since I see right now, I'm gonna have to do it that way. Because I got a lot to talk about here, brothers and sisters. And hell, when Iran invades, in my opinion, that's going to be it. That's the war. That's second phase. And they know if they hit, they're going to have to hit hard and have to be a fatal blow. Otherwise, they say if you hit, despite the king, kill him. Because if he recovers, he comes back to your full power. You know what I'm saying? Okay, here you go. Okay, let me move myself out of the way here. Keep in that part. I guess that'll be okay. I can read that out to you. Okay. So, mistake here. Here's where we are right now. America, Britain, and forces, they control the Middle East, right? Okay. Okay, there. Okay, and then what? And this is about to happen. They're about to go to war with Iran and Syria this year. So they have any day now. This is what they're worried about. This is going to happen. Say when Iran is going to revenge attack, whatever, retaliate. This is about to happen. Future news, brothers and sisters. That means they're at war with each other. Syria and Iran is in war with America, Britain, false Israel. Full-scale war, regional war. Okay? And at that time, right, that's when Suleiman comes to the NOI. He comes there immediately. People who sit in darkness see the great light. He comes immediately and warns them, say, flee, flee, flee. Because see, Jerusalem surrounded by armies. Its destruction is about to happen. That's when he says, he comes immediately, flee. Well, because it tells you, right in Exodus, that when Joshua comes, Joshua and Jesus, same name. Joshua is in Hebrew is Joshua, in Greek is Jesus. It says he finally comes, he says, and it be a time of victory, a time of war, but the sound of war, but not the sound of victory or defeat. That means war is still going on. When he comes to Joshua's Aaron's camp, because Aaron's in control. When he comes to Aaron's camp, there's a sound of war, but no sound of victory nor defeat. So that's what happens. He suddenly comes, he tells them, right? Because this desolation is going on right now. It's going on right now. See? But it said, you see Jerusalem surrounded by armies. That's when flee immediately. See? Okay, so he comes, but he got to warn you. He comes to warn you. This is the resurrection. Because Elijah did the resurrection, but he had no spirit. Now it's his turn. So right here. So America and Britain, right, is being thrown out. They lost the war. Right? So I'm showing because it's almost simultaneously. So Britain, so you see right here. Now this is interesting because let me show you. Let me go to previous one, so you understand this. Because this is also a story of David and Goliath. Now see here. Okay, I gotta go back again. See, this is called a stone. Remember, David had 5 stones. This is one of them. I'm not trying to go into detail right there, but he's with the shear. This also represents an African that's in the Middle East. I mean, African nation is, is in Africa, but I can't say in Africa, Middle East. But it's one, right? This is a Sunni nation. It's an African Sunni nation, right? And it's on the border of Israel, which is quite a few. But Syria is an African, right? But Algeria, whatever. Anyway, it's right there. So what happened? Remember, he's with the Shia. Now, these are also called sackcloth. So Syria and Iran, that's why they're also slingshot. And slingshot would have this stone that's in the slingshot. And I know you're not going to catch this. This is mostly for the people in Hawaii. I'll be dealing with it a few more days. But this is stone right here. So what happens? Look. So they go up. So now they're cocking the slingshot. See? Cocking that slingshot. Right? The slingshot's aimed at, this is Goliath, man. It's aimed at Goliath's head. Right? You got it? So all these stories come together. That's why I tell you that. Right? And as he comes, he suddenly comes. Right? Just before Goliath's taken out. Right? He still got this here. Still a slingshot. Well, actually, I shouldn't, anyway. I shouldn't, anyway, I'm not even confused. I'm going to leave it. I'm not going to tell you what happened there. There it is, bam. Saints hit the God's in the head. Falsehoods are gone. See, there's a betrayal because there's an African nation, right? And I think it's safe to say it now, because they kind of like, well, I'm not going to say too much, right? But they kind of like let the cat back themselves, right? But there's an African nation that Sunni and Shia, so be at odds with each other. But they're going to betray false Israel and attack them. When that false Israel think, hey, they're fighting everybody else. And they're going to expect this. And that's what's going to knock them out. Anyway, because it's the African nation there. So therefore, now, at this point, right, that's when America and Britain actually cast out. That's the fig tree, fig leaves. And they attack. I told you they're going to attack blacks, and they're already doing it in England right now. They're already doing it. It's like, right? They're actually doing it right now. They got a race thing going right there. They're actually attacking blacks wholesale. But this is what happens right there. They actually attack blacks. Because false Israel's gone now. They see false Israel, and they can't have us realize that we choose Abraham. I'm not going to go to the vision thing, all that kind of stuff, right? But like I said, I'm going to get off of here in a minute. But they can't have us, they got to keep us thinking that we ham, that we got to listen to them, we got to be under their control, everything else. Because remember, we're rich. It says we leave out a great substance. So that means we're rich, but we don't see it because they're controlling your wealth. They're using you. They're controlling your wealth. That's why they won't let you go. And if you found that you're going to restrain, you're going to withhold your wealth, and says you're going to attack them and flee the country. Because why? You're going to get revenge, because that's why they keep our children ignorant of what happened, because they don't want you to, if we know what happened, then maybe we wouldn't be so out there with the dogs and our pants hanging down, all that kind of stuff. But once false Israel goes, then it's clear. And they can have that vision. Because Martin Luther King, the preachers told not to talk about the Abraham coming. Look it up. Don't tell the people about that. See? That we're going to return home. That was true to Abraham. And Martin Luther King, when that did anyway, they blew his head the next day. Because Elijah Muhammad told him, say, man, this is what it's all about. Oh, yeah? Okay, so he went out and talked about it, and they blew his head off. You got to do it. I'm going to leave it alone there, but maybe I've been talking about it quite a bit, so I don't think I do it anymore. See, attacking all. See? But listen to this carefully now. We know that 1/4 Earth is, because now America's in a position right here, right? This is where Armageddon starts. Armageddon is a European war where they start. That's a backfire. Let me talk about that in a minute. Backfire is when you do something that backfires back on you. But that's what consequence is. See? Especially if what you did it comes back exactly like you did it. So I punch you in the nose and you punch me right back, right? That's backfire. Because right? But you got punched in the nose because it backfired on you. Now you got to punch your nose, right? Consequence. You understand? So the thing is that I told you all the devil found use because we didn't retaliate and we submitted. Then what they did to us, they didn't receive the consequence. So they called it a period of grace. They didn't have grace. So they was able to do all their thing and their wickedness and all that kind of stuff, right? And with no consequence. And that's one of the problems they have right now. They think you can still do it, but that time is over. Now the dam is broken, and now the flood of consequence is rolling in on them. See? But the point is, remember, they was made to make myth shed blood. So the only way they can be, that's their nature, like a pig. The only nature, they just make myth shed blood. But there's a consequence to that. It's the only way you can, because remember, this was Adam's time, so to make Adam happy, you got to allow him to Adam. You want to make a pig happy, you got to let him be a pig. So they was allowed to make myth shed blood over here for 5 years with no consequence, because we did not retaliate as we Smith. So it was happy. It was killing us, rape us, and everything else, and no consequence. They called it a period of grace. They said that grace period, that's what they say, that's how they understand it. It was grace, but now the dam is broke. It says, do unto them as it's done to you. Twice as much, because it's going to be, right? Whirlwind. So they can't let you see. They can't let it happen. So either, if they can't stop you from understand what's going on, so because you remember, before you can do the consequence, you have to know what the action was that you reacted to. And so they're doing everything to keep you from learning what the action was to us. Because you can't do them what did you unless you know what the hell they did to you. And they're keeping that from you, especially from our children. And so once you find out that false Israel was a lie, and then you start all this knowledge come flooding into your mind, then you realize what done to you. Now, that's what's going to happen, because it says this angel will be pushing all the world. That means Suleiman's going to make you totally, you're going to have this, you're going to have your full attention. So now you're going to realize what they did to you. So now you're going to be doing them they done to you. And they can't stop. So they can't stop you from finding out what it is. Then they're going to attack you and to kill you, destroy you. And I got all kinds of verses to explain it, but I'm not going to do it here. But you understand, brothers and sisters, I got presentations explain all this. They write all my presentations on one of my sites. Right? I got backups, YouTube. Anyway, it doesn't matter, because I'm going to put YouTube to sleep in a minute. See? Because this gospel will be preached in all the world. That's going to happen. All the world. That part of it. And then it will come in almost. Right? I'm not going to that. If you look at the time frame, I've been talking about the last couple of days, it tells you. So they're attacking. Now, see, it says wild beast earth. That means that's Armageddon. Because as soon as you get kicked out of the Middle East, Armageddon starts, right? But it says also, that it's famine. Now, they don't mean it's going to be a famine here. Well, you might, if you call no food a famine, usually famines mean no, that means no food too, right? You just associate it with no crops and things, right? But there's no, all the economy is going to totally collapse. There'll be no food and anything. It's going to result in cannibalism, like that Bible says, right? But see, greenish yellow also represents vegetation. But in this case, not talking about lack of food. We're talking about right here is that, remember, because right now, they're going to be attacking, those are demons there. Those are Christian blacks. They're demons. They're attacking them too. Anything that's black. Remember, because one thing that's true with them is you got to be devils. You got to be white. And so even if you might, mother might fuck, I don't care. If you ain't white like them, then they're going to attack everybody that's black. That's what it says. Understand? That's why I planned earlier. So that's the beginning of the demon war, which lasts 5 months, called Locust War, because they're attacking them. And they say, Master, why are you attacking us? We're your children. We love you. So this sets the stage for the demon war. Now it says long sword and a famine, see, because they represent greenish yellow. I mean, I could say it that way, but I want to be as clear as possible. Right? That's where the famine part comes in, because that's where. So now, that's the beginning of their war with the demons. Because remember, the demons been helping them. Slave master children, house. But now, they got the conflict. And that's going to be a start, because they got race wars and everything else going on, because they're attacking them. Right? Okay. And then we talk about death and wild beasts. We're talking about wild beast earth. We're talking about long sword in a minute. But they're talking about America. That's what's going to be happening in a few more days. Have total race conflict here on an astronomical scale. Going to be all blacks, attack all blacks, not just us. All black, anything that's not white, they're going to attack. See, but specifically us, right? So that's about to happen here, right? And Suleiman's warning, flee. Okay, let's go to the next one. And see, that's when you flee. It says they all fled. See? They all fled. And see, at this point, see, the long sword also represents Africa. That represents the African people here from Africa, visas and all that kind of stuff. See, because they attack all blacks, so they're going to unite. They don't have the problem we have. They're going to unite. They're going to be a strong military force. And they're going to start tearing this country apart because they're under attack by these devils. They're going to attack them too. They're mainly after us, but they're all black. So now you got them attacking America, and they're a united bunch. Right? And you got the demons. First, they trying to plead with Master. Now they're in defense. And then they finally flee because they feel like Master's going to treat the Master's. It's not going to acknowledge them. You understand? And so America's under attack over there, it's under attack over here. Slow within is slow without. And then, so now all be gathered together. Right? They also call the clouds. The demons and the saints all gathered together. The red, black, the red horse, white horse, and the greenish yellow, they're all the horses, right? They all gathered together, they're all demons. And that's where it says Suleiman sorts them out, right? And kick out the demons. Right? That's in Exodus. It says they separate those with the Lord, not with Elijah, not with Moses. Elijah said, those with the Lord, that means the mess with the covenant, come with him. Right? And this were left. They slaughtered the ones that was left. Who was left? Aaron and the rest. They wasn't with the Lord. They wasn't with Elijah. They weren't mad from Muhammad. They were demons. Legion said, we are many. And then they slaughtered them. That's, you see right there. Now that's the official start of the Locust War the last 5 months. All the while the tribulation's going on. Because tribulation starts, right? As soon as Armageddon starts. Right? Okay, then what happens? And then the flood. That's the flood. That's the Noah's flood. Or it's China, India is going to come and invade America. And plus, they're going to take out Britain on the way. Britain's gone. So then that flood, that's the goat in Daniel that comes, and they got Africa's going to be with them. Non-Islamic Africa, if you will. They're going to be with them. And led by Obama. Oh, you're laughing at that one. We'll see. That's the goat. So the bear with people, the goat is the goat is China and India. And they come in, they're going to come in and invade America and take it down and burn it to the ground under Master Muhammad's guidance. Because chapter 17 says, these 10 kings, that's them, they make war with the Lamb. The Lamb will come to them. Who can make war with the beasts? It says the Lamb could. Who broke? Ain't Farrakhan, he's the Lamb. He ain't broke one seal anywhere. And no one else has broken seal that you know about except me. So who can make war? Who's like the beast? Who can make war with the beast? And it says the Lamb made war with those 10. He can make war with them. Here. But it says the God put a spirit in them, right? To take out the harlot. How do you do that? Because now, right, they have control of the Middle East. All the communists collapse. All the European communists collapse. So China and India is dependent upon the oil in the Middle East. So they told us that if you want to continue getting oil, you got to take out dog. That's what it says in chapter 17 clearly. And so that's the flood. So I think I'm going to leave it there, brothers and sisters. I don't know if you're caught in this or whatever. But that's to my future news. Future news. That's future news. I'm not going to get into this, brothers and sisters. Let's be part 2 if I do it. Let's see if there's anything else here. Okay, I'm going to leave it here, brothers and sisters. I think it'll be part 2. I have to show you what's about to happen, brothers and sisters. Future news. Future news. Future news, brothers and sisters. It says they will have 76 years. Foes would have 76 years to control Palestine, and then they'll be destroyed. 70 years. B math. 1948 to 2024 was that. This is it. And everything's in place, brothers and sisters. Not going to this, brothers and sisters, I'm going to close out. I know I won't be able to do this in one session. A lot of this stuff I've already talked about, brothers and sisters. So I'll do a part two anyway, just to make sure I cover all points. Okay. Okay, brothers and sisters, future news. Suma Rahim, Mr. Covenant, the Watchman, out.